All right, guys, welcome to Trading with Meatball. We're going to talk about mistakes and why we talk about them. And I am taking a lot of flack tonight and losing a lot of friends because I said some stuff on another platform and people are flagging my videos. We're not violating any content and we just want you to draw charts by yourself without me. So you don't need me and you don't have to pay somebody $1,600 to tell you, oh, you can't do this by yourself. It is hard, guys. There's a lot of stuff. You have to pay attention to the news and when the Fed is speaking. If you're trading the SPY, you want to pay attention to the VIX and the dollar. We have both of those over here. And we have a couple of videos where we talked about how we got them Friday watching the VIX and the dollar. Let's talk about mistakes. And I spent thousands of dollars in the desert the last 6 months trying to figure out a system that works. And it's our SPY system. And we use it every day. And I have videos explaining it. It's not that hard. And it's no secret. And you don't have to send me bribes. I give it to you because I'm an old man and I'm giving you my knowledge before I die. I'm also tired of people saying that you can't do this without them and you have to pay $200 a month to trade with them. And I'm sorry, guys. If I was a millionaire, I would be feeding people at the homeless shelter. I wouldn't be sitting in front of this for 8 hours a day, charging people $200 a month. Making 16 grand off of Discord. If I was a millionaire, I would be feeding the homeless or something. And so my experience losing thousands of dollars listening to these guys, and there's good rooms, there's good discords. Okay, there are, and you can see my Twitter profile. I follow some people that are super smart and then some of them have paid programs. Um, but my experience with the most of the ones I went into and the free spaces and stuff, too many trades. They take them and then they don't talk about the ones that go south. And so let's look at one of mine that went south, and we talked about it in our Discord. And this is my Discord. I don't think I can get in trouble for showing this, but somebody keeps flagging our videos. And here's my picks for tomorrow, and you can see which ones I like: the Hilton, the Affirm, Affirm finances stuff, and people are broke. We like the Rivian. We play it all the time. CRM is flagging. That's a good one. Be careful with that Lennar, the LEN. They have earnings on Thursday. Okay. Let's look at the Onion. I know that's not what it is, but I call it Onion. And so I hit this one a couple times, and then I got killed right here. And why? It was a bad entry. Okay. It went down below my trend line. And let's look at a bigger picture. And we look for retracements. We look for patterns. I draw lines and I see the channel, and it gives me this pattern for weeks, right? And we had really hurt them. And I won't say how much because I have small account. Okay, I'm old man, recovering after a divorce, and I'm broke. But I threw down everything I had and I got them. We were watching this, and they give us the pattern for weeks. And so here's the 17th and the 13th, and it's like 4 or 5 days apart. Here it is 7 days later, and then 4 days later. And so I did it, and there's a big wick on the candle. This is the 1 hour, but we usually trade the 5 minute. And so I had already tagged him. And so the confidence level was really high. And you can watch Umar's videos. He's a good guy. Is as far as education, he's got lots of good education. And one of the things that others teach, like him, that have been doing this a long time, is the confidence level gets too high when you're hitting all the time. Okay. And I had a tiny one up in here, and I sell into 20 or 30 percenters, guys. And options have spreads, 20, 30% sometimes. So, you get stop lossed out really quick. And I'll go commando. That's, means I have no underwear, and I'll no stop loss. But here she is wicking down below the trend line, and I already had it plotted. And if you look at our Discord, we always tell you, this is where we're looking to go in. And this is the cars. And we plot entries so that we're not chasing them, and we're really good on the Rivian. um, so anyhow, the Onion wicked down and I took it and we killed him. And I watched and I waited, man, and I missed this one. I think one of the other guys maybe got it that I talked to, but I didn't. I usually circle mine, guys. And so it came down again, and this is the opening print. We mark it with a blue line if you're new here. And so going in blindly just because it's below my trend line, if I had looked at the bigger picture, it was on a downward trend, and I'm just drawing a rough line across the top of these candles. Um, I would actually prefer to get the body of the movement and discount that and not use that. We'll go off this one. But if I had been paying attention, it was on a downward trend for a few days. And I have been paying attention, but I went in and it looked good because it was below. But I don't change these things. I'm honest about it. This is a bad candle to go in on. The next one or the next one or the next one, those would be good because it's showing a reversal with wicks, but the volume wasn't there right here. That's a good candle, but it's not engulfing that one. It's not bigger than the red one. It's not a clear reversal. The reversal becomes clear up in here, but the volume, look at the volume down here. The volume wasn't there. See, that was a bad entry, guys. Talk about mistakes and get stronger. Okay. Down here, we got them again. Okay. Because this is a zone that we drew. And when it stopped at that zone, and it reversed and it was 10 or 15 minutes in. Oh, hell no. We went in right at the open like a dumbass. I trade too much too early, guys. You have to talk about your bad habits, and that's one of mine. And so I always allocate money or a different account. I have multiple small accounts, but they're spread out so that I got one I trade after lunch. I don't even look at it in the morning. And then I know I have some money for after lunch. We get good setups after lunch. And so this was at the open, but we were reading the candlesticks and the volume was there. You can see this big volume, and that's a great candlestick. And so it's coming off of a zone that we drew, and it's showing the volume in the candlestick. And so those are things we use to trade the open. But this was a bad entry right here. It was on a downward trend and the volume wasn't there. There were some green candles, but the volume wasn't there. It was a bad entry, man. A Lyft got me. Let's look at Lyft and let's learn from our mistakes, okay? In the chat rooms and discords I played with and lost thousands of dollars, they never talked about their mistakes. They load up with puts and then they say, oh, the calls are paying. No, you told everybody to buy puts, man. I'm not stupid. Well, I guess I was stupid for listening to them. So here's our target entry, okay? And I guess I didn't circle the trade, guys, but I took it, okay? I took it. And we had a target entry plotted. Why? Let's zoom out. Always zoom out to get answers, okay? Thank you, Alejandro at King Capital. I wish he'd come back online. And so there was a pattern, and this is a 2 hour. Let's not do that. Give me a 15-minute. All right, there you go. On the 15-minute now, we didn't trade this. We were drawing it. And then we see the pattern, but it's wild. It's not really a good pattern. A pattern would have been it stopping in the same place. This one doesn't. It's all over the place. Okay. And so that was a bad entry. It looked like it was climbing out of control and then it settles and then it climbs out of control and then it settles. I had anticipated that and drawn an entry there. And when it gave us a wick on a candle and we went in, okay, but that's kind of blindly following my system. Again, the confidence level's too high. We've been hitting a lot. And so you have to look at other things like the news. The Fed's going to speak on Wednesday. Make sure that you have some money Wednesday when the announcement comes out about interest rates at 2. Don't trade everything in the morning. That's another mistake, right? Save some money for after the Fed speaks because then we'll see a trend. The SPY's going up, SPY's going down, whatever. If you wait until they show you a trend on the SPY, you can get them. This one was all over the place, and the pattern I spotted was the run up and then the leveling off, and it dies down a little bit, and then it did it again, and we waited, but it failed, and then look, it reversed. Okay, so this channel that we have drawn here should tell us you know, that if it settles down now and there's into this channel, we can start playing it again. And if it goes up and down in this channel and continues to climb, she'll be easy pickings. And I have an entry plotted for it right here, okay, based on this one. And based on the fact that I want it to stay in the channel, I'm not chasing it up there. So I'm kind of tempering my own risk by putting my entry low. We got lots of good picks this week. I don't need to chase this one, but I liked it, and I had a bad entry up here. We could say why for a lot of reasons, but me personally, it was going off of a zone that I drew, and I have confidence in my zones, and this is my red zone, and it wicks off of it, then it tries to go over it, and I said, that's it, she's going to go again, and she failed. But you have to trade your own system and draw your own charts, and then you got nobody to blame but yourself. And here's how we get them this week with all the violence that was going on. We trade the 5 minute. Let's just look at the 5 minute. You always want to zoom out. Always zoom out. You can see the red arrows. This is a few days ago when she gave us good retracements all day long. All day long. The 20-day moving average is the orange line. The purple one's a 90. I just trade with the 20 most of the time. I had the 90 up there the other day, but you can see how the blue line here is the opening print. And then this black line is a trend line that we drew, and it's a downward trend. It goes back, I don't know, 6 months or a year. but it wicks off that line like magic, and then it takes a dump. And this is a big candle. So we wait for the retracement, and we got them. And then it did it again. We got him again. Okay, so we're done for the day. We got him twice. But you could have played it all day long with these retracements as it bounces off the 20-day, and it went over it right there, but then it came back down. I want to see volume, and I want to see key areas. 455, it had been chopping 455 for like 10 days or something. And so when it went up and rejected, I liked it up in here. But when it hit 455, notice I didn't trade it anymore. This was chop for 2 hours. It kills your time value on options. And since it had been fighting, if you zoom out, it had been fighting 455 and it's trying to go up. I didn't want to take puts, knowing that it was trying to climb over 455. So pay attention to key price areas. And this is a zone 455, 456. Just think about Tesla at 200 a share, or Microsoft at 400 a share. A key price, a key area. There's going to be support and or resistance. But Friday was violent. We were watching the dollar and the VIX, and we have a video about how we did that. But it was right in here about 1240, 1230 where we got the trend. It's an upward trend, a big candle with a big wick, and it goes over the opening print, which is the blue line. It goes over this green line, which is a trend line that I drew. And it goes way back. That's my line. So it's going over my trend line, over the opening print. Then it crosses over the orange line, which is a 20-day moving average. So this is an upward trend. And we took some here in our Discord, and it's free to join us in the Discord. We have a paid Discord. We're not even using it. I told everybody they could just stay in the chat, and it's free. And we put research up there. I post numbers and stuff, and so it's not just charts. But you guys call your own shots, draw your own charts, and then if you want me to chart one for you, I will. But let's talk about the mistakes, right? And so there was lots of mistakes made in here as the dollar was moving up and down and the SPY was going up and down. But this is the open, the blue line, okay? And I took a trade at the open, a very tiny one, but your risk tolerance may be different than mine. I'll bet on a dog crossing the street, guys. My dad took me to a horse track when I was 4 years old. If you haven't watched the YouTube video, Who is Meatball, go watch it because we all have different risk tolerances. But if you wait until here's 10:30 on the QQQ, we had told everybody the night before. I told them I was going into QQQ, and we said right there, the QQQ between 10 and 11 is the banger. And we told them everybody the night before. And then in the Discord, I said again, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Well, here it is, 10:30, 10:35, and you can check the Discord. I think it was 10:36. I typed it in. It was coming off this upward trend line. It had already gone up, come down, and now it's wicking off and going back up. It's awful, evil, but we were watching the dollar and the VIX. That's how we did it. And then when it came down again, we had some late day entries in here. One of the guys got that. My daughter got some up in there as it continued to climb. But the trend wasn't until 1230, 1240 right here, where it clearly wicks off the 20-day moving average. Okay, so trading too much too early is a very common mistake. Having too much confidence in my patterns and my charts, and I've been hitting too much, that's a common mistake. My confidence level is too high, right? And relying on my one system and going in blindly when it reaches my target area just because I drew it on the chart like the onion. Those are common mistakes. We talk about them, we get stronger. We don't talk about them, we're just hiding it from ourselves. But here's the trend about 1240. The dollar had been chopping up and down that day, and here it is. And this was about 12, so yeah, 12:15. And I drew a line from that one to that one. And when it started going down, that was 12:15. We actually posted at 12:42. The dollar's dropping, the SPY's going to go boom. That was 12:42, and that was right about in here as it crossed below. The dollar went below the 20 MA. And so right at 1242, the SPY was crossing over it up in here, see? And so as the dollar goes down, the SPY doesn't have to go up. It doesn't. I've seen the dollar go up at the same time as the SPY, but what got me was the VIX had been going down all day. I was just waiting for the dollar to drop. The fear index, the VIX, has been going down all day. And so when the dollar reversed, that's how we got them. So trading too much too early is a mistake. Relying on my system too much is a mistake. All these things. But the one key you should take out of this, guys, is don't trade too much at the open and don't rely on any one system. And those are mistakes that I make all the time, and we talk about them. And as we talk about them, we get stronger. If you wait until 10 or 11, they can sometimes show you a trend. It was almost 1 o'clock on Friday. I would expect more violence this week. There's no data tomorrow. Nope, not on Monday. But Tuesday you got numbers, and Wednesday you got numbers, and the Fed speaks. So you're gonna have some more violence. And if you're patient and you wait, they can show you the trend later. And I like the 10 to 11 window, but I like to save some money for the after lunch too. And it paid off on Friday. I just wish I had more. I'm not gonna lie and say I made $1 million on Friday afternoon after lunch. We made a tiny trade and it paid off. But I wish I had had more because they showed us the cards finally at about 12:30, 1 o'clock. And so waiting can really pay off. And there are some big guys that have posted videos about how they sit there and watch and they don't trade, man. And it's one of the hardest things to do is waiting. It's the hardest thing, I think, maybe the mental game. Okay. And so in our Discord, we talk about the stocks and not too much else, but we have fun and we wait together because we're stronger together. Come join us. Okay, guys, come join us. And we are 19 Delta Cavalry Scout. And there's a young meatball with some hair re-enlisting. And my Uncle Ralph flew 20 missions over Japan. We are stronger together. There was more than one guy on that airplane. He's pointing to himself, but there was 10 guys on that airplane. Come join us, guys. We're stronger together. And yes, I share my whole screen. God bless you.